Hello, Bulgami, and welcome back to another episode, or should I say, review between the Premier Eels and the Gold Coast Titans in an absolute diabolical performance. That was that was possibly one of the most embarrassing and the most cringiest performance that I've ever seen from the Premier Eels in a very, very, very long time. And I am absolutely just frustrated and just cannot be bothered to even just explode or even put on a explicit rant to throw any F bombs in that because there's no point because Mark and Neil, as I have been saying it for so long, and sorry to go in the club in this so early in the review, but Mark and Neil, my God, and Sam Moore, there has to be some serious questions to be asked about those two, all right? Because a lot of people think that I am judging on Jason Rolls and also on Mitch Moses, who I will go into them in a sec. But before we go into the review, make sure to follow the podcasts on all social platforms and especially give us a listen on both Spotify and also on Apple Podcasts itself. And make sure to follow us on the pages on Instagram and also on TikTok as well. But before we go into the review, I will say hello to our co-host here since he has came back here for the second time, and good to have you back there, Sean. How you feeling after the match?
Like to say it's great to be back, and it is, but
Yep.
not exactly the game I'd want to come back to. So,
Yeah, it
no,
was pretty
it was
poor.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
it was
ridiculous.
re.
Especially, you put up the fight and you play for the badge. Like a great example against the Tigers last week. We may not have won, a lot of shit calls, but at the end of the day, we played with heart, we played with spirit. Where was that this week?
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Nothing.
much. Yeah. Like even like last year, sorry no, last week, sorry. I do think that we're going robbed, but look, I'm not blaming it on Mitchell Moses, which in my opinion, in the first half, he was absolutely just average with his last set plays. I thought that he rushed a bit of his kicking options there, but in the second half, we are seeing that he was trying to put in the chip and chasers, and he was trying to do his best. But on that last play in the first half, when Will Pensini went for that chip and chase, and then tried to pass there to Brian Kelly, Mitchell Moses was just putting his arms in the air, saying that, "What are you doing? Like that's not part of the plan there, Will." And sure, he has scored a try, Will, but honestly, him and Brian Kelly need to be dropped for good. And I know that's a big call for dropping Will, but I think that it has come to a stage where I think we have no other options but to give other opportunities to players that can be able to step up and perform way better than what Will Pensini and what Brian Kelly had performed today.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's just I was a big fan of Will Penasini, and I was actually glad to see him back because I like how he does run the ball and he does take on the defenders. But and he always has two efforts, but it seems to be whenever he has that second effort, he always loses the ball, always throws the ball out of bounds, always makes a mistake with it. It's just
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
gets to a certain point, and when's enough? Like, there's just, I reckon, Jason Riles, he needs to have a sit down with the team and he needs to give them a good spray. Like, they have no discipline. It's generally as if they've been taken easy on them their whole lives. Like, Brad Arthur, obviously, I would have no clue. I've never been in the coach box or anything like that. But from how it seems, Brad Arthur was way too soft on him. Jason Riles is doing the same thing. They've got no discipline, nothing. And That's where their biggest issue is.
Yeah, pretty much. And we all know that Jason Rolls has worked with hard heads like Craig Be- Be- Bellamy in the past, and we all know that Craig Bellamy can go off his head quite a lot, and yeah, I don't know why that Jason Rolls. I know that he is trying to do his best on the roster that he has at the moment, especially fighting with injuries. With now confirmed Sam Tuvati and Kelmo Tuolungi. I think they're going to be out for quite a few periods of time there, which that sucks because we got the Bulldogs next week, and I will be going to the game in the Swarm, in the Swarm area for the first of time. But yeah, it's such a poor time for me to really just attend to the game after conceding 52 points against the Gold Coast Titans, who haven't even won at Parramatta since 2015. And I actually went to the game in 2015 when we lost. I believe it was 32-16 when James Roberts. I think when Chris Sando threw like a pass. I think it was in the second half. James Roberts went down on the field running like 90 meters to score a try. Yeah, our defense in that game was pretty poor, but this is like 100 times way worse. And the fact that we've conceded 50 points for the first ever time out of all the teams against the Gold Coast Titans, Josh Hannay, the coach that we were in talks for to be appointed to coaching this team before that we were going to appoint for Jason Rolls. Like, that's such a bad look on the club like us. Like, okay, sure, we're in the rebuilding process, and sure we got injuries, and sure that Jason Rolls and Mitchell Moses doesn't have that much to really do. But we have now seen that Sam Moa is not good enough to be our defensive coach, and Mark O'Neill is doing absolutely just nothing better. And sure, there has been rumors that we are going to sign Jane Sewer on a 3-year deal, and if it doesn't make that work, then we are going to be cooked. And I think we have no other choice. But I think this rebuilding process is going to take much more longer than what we all thought it was going to be. So, is there any like thoughts there, Sean? Like
Yeah,
on
definitely.
what I just said about Mark Neal and Sam Moa, and what's your thoughts on Sam Moa and Mark Neal? Because I don't see any Paramount podcasters like, okay, sure, they question Mark Neal, but I see absolutely no Paramount fans, no Paramount podcasters going after our defensive coach Sam Moa, and I know it is his second year, and I know he is a premiership winner at the Sydney Roosters, and I know it is very unnecessary to sack one of the coaches during this period, early on in the seasons, dealing with injuries, which is our main priority that we do need to fix up at the moment. But with the roster as well, you still need to include Mark O'Neill as well, and he really needs to make this work, or otherwise, like I think by the end of the season, if we don't play finals footy, then both Sam Moa and Mark O'Neill they need to go because they don't because Sam Moa is not fit enough to fix our defensive structure, and Mark O'Neill, who has been running this club for quite a while now, in my opinion, he is not fit enough to run this club, and he is not an Eels man. He is a former West Tigers player, and yet people are still sucking up to him. So, what's your thoughts on those two?
About about as much thoughts as you and everyone else, I guess. Like, there's obviously not much we can do about it. So, as fans, obviously, we can voice our opinions and all of that, but that's about as far as we can take it for the time being. So, I try not to dwell over the things that we can't really control and just sort of focus on what we can control, like getting our message across to everyone and hoping that they can back our opinions themselves. So,
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, since we have like through our quick little rant thoughts there, we're gonna go quickly into the match here against the Titans, and we won't go into this for too long. Um, we will try and like rip into the main points of the match, and I'll share the screen right now, and hopefully Riverside does not stuff up my recordings this time, just like last time. So let's hope that this goes well. All right, so as you can see over here, a few minutes in, Josh Okar made a line break there. Kelman Tuolingi was penalised there, and then Jojo Fafita made a line break there, and he passed on there to Amara Hayu, and then he goes over there for the first try there, and I believe it was on that left edge that we tried to stop Jojo Fafita on passing on there to Amara Hayu, I believe. I could be wrong,
one
but
thing
I think
I'd
it was,
like to.
huh?
So one thing I'd like to add about that is every single time Titans made a line break, did you notice that every single time they always had two or three players backing up the person with the line break?
Yeah,
That is what won them this game. That's what got them to score 52 points. They always had options. Whenever we make a line break, there's no one supporting. It's always just a one person on four defenders because no one is there backing him up.
yeah, pretty much. And it was just miscommunication, especially having Jonah Pezet out for this game as well. And I feel like with Moses pairing up with Ronald Volkman there, I feel like that the communication there was just a bit off. And Mitch Moses was just trying to do his best just to communicate with other players. But like players like Will Penasini and Brian Kelly, they just don't care. And I feel like that their attitude was just completely just childish in this match, and those two need to be dropped for good if they're not going to stick to the plan on how Moses does every single preparation to these matches that you need to win, especially when you have a week out against your biggest rivalries, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs at your home ground, and yet you face up against them a week out after conceding 52 points against a team with a rookie coach that we were in talks for, as I repeat, and he has made some changes that has gotten the whole entire footy team involved with some rookies that, well, we all thought that Keanu Kinney was going to have a reality check from Mitch and Moses, but yeah, we'll go into that in a sec. But yeah, the Titans go over for the first try there, and then AJ Brimson gets around for the second try there. Campbell converts a try to make it 12-all, and then Sia Letiili, Fai Amani gets over there with a line break there from Keanu Kinney, and I believe this is when Keanu Kinney absolutely just pulled down Moses' pants there, and then just went into Moses, and then just spun around him, and then just softly ran through our defense in absolute slow motion, and he just passes the ball there to Fai Armani there, and then I think it was a try, or I could be wrong, but yeah, yeah, I. I another try score there from the Titans. Jalen Campbell converted to make it 18 points to nil. And then Curtis Morin was penalised there for a dangerous tackle. Um, and then Jane Campbell gets a line break there. Philip Sami thankfully knocks on the ball. And then we try to make some attacking big opportunities there. But then Joshua Carr, he was very close to scoring a try, but then he kept on dropping the ball because our communication and the execution was just not there, and I don't know why our attack has just depleted. Yes, I know that we have rookies like Nava Araz there, who made his debut there, which congrats to him. But I thought, look, I feel like today was just a very poor time for him because I feel like the preparation was just not there, and I feel like the roster around him, it just didn't work out for him as well. And Josh Papali, he absolutely just tried out his heart out, trying to stop that try that that was breakened by I'm not too sure who it was. I think it was I think it was the fourth try that the Titans scored. Yeah, I'm not too sure, but it was one of the tries that Josh probably tried to stop, and then unfortunately he couldn't do much about it, and yeah, we hit back with Will Pensine there with a passer from Brian Kelly, and then Will Pensine nearly knocked on the ball, and he juggled the ball around, and he managed to just brush it on the ground there, just sluggishly. Get our first ever points on the scoreboard there, and then Ronald Volkman converts to try there to make it 6 points to 18. And then Will Pensini makes a line break there, but then it was a knock on there from Jack Williams. I'm not sure if that was him in the second half. No, that was in the first half. But I will get into his other error. That was absolutely embarrassing. But anyways, in the second half, it was half time. 18-6. A very diabolical half. Our attack also, I feel like that we were playing in absolute slow motion, and that half of our players were just drunk, in my opinion. So, what was your thoughts in the first half, there, Sean? Yeah, Shane. Yeah. Okay, we're still going. All right, cool. All right. Yeah. So six again. That we can see it. Then Keanu Kinney goes through, and then he passes on there to Jaden Campbell, and then Joshua Carr nearly saved this try, but then he was too late, and he was able to brush it down, and the Titans go 22-6, and I do convert it there from the try scorer himself there, 24-6, and Cooper Bye, a very embarrassing defensive moment here where we were all over in this ruck, and players like Charlie Geimer, as you can see over there, Jack Williams, and even Talent Silva was even trying to put on a high shot there on Cooper Bye, but then Cooper Bye still managed to get over, and that pretty much just summed out our defensive performance so far in this match. And then they converted to make it 30.6, and it was looking very, very ugly. But it gets even worse. So Araz there were some positives, which we all thought this was going to be a try where Josh probably he puts up the bomb and then Nava he actually pats back the ball back to Joash. Then Joash gets over to bring some life finally into the Eels team there, and unfortunately, Araz was offside and it was counted as a no try. And then the Titans get back the ball as Josh probably does knock on the ball, and then Philip Sami, I believe this was from a crossfield kick, I believe, and then Sami goes over there as he loves scoring against Parramatta, and he makes it 34 points to 6. But thankfully, he does. But thankfully, Jaden Campbell does miss a conversion. Keelan Kelly makes the error, and then moving on, Joshua Carr finally gets a try there, and I think this was off from Will Persini. I don't really remember on how he scored it, but I think it was Josh on the right. Sorry, no. So I think it was. Hang on. No, I think it was Josh on the left, and then he just sped all the way, and yeah, just scored a try there. He was too quick, and then yeah, bring some life, I guess, back into the team. And then Luca Moretti came back on since Sam Tuvati and Kelmo Tuolungi were both confirmed to be out for the rest of that match. And they also activated some of our players to come on, such as Luca Moretti, and also other players like um, like Lorenzo Talantina, which I don't know why he didn't start. Maybe because we were saving him up, maybe for Cup, I believe. I think, yeah, because I do think that our Cup team does play at 6 p.m. against South Sydney today at the James Hardy Centre of Excellence, if that's how it works. But yeah, yeah, I'm a little bit disappointing that we couldn't see a glimpse of first grade there from Lorenzo Talentina there. But I think, well, I'm not saying that Ronald Volkman didn't do anything wrong. I will say that he ran the ball more compared to Jonah Pezzett. Um, but yeah, look, he did get a try assist there. I believe, sorry, no, I think that try from Joshua Carr, as I now remember, was off from a crossfield kick there from Ronald Volkman. So, yep. But yeah, Volkman, I thought that he tried to do everything correctly, but I just feel like that um, that Mitchell Moses and Ronald Volkman, like they haven't been what working that much together. And since this is the first of a time, as Sean is, oh no, he's back. Okay, all right, cool.
The the laptop went flat. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right. Let's see. Are we? Okay, so we're still recording, so that's good. Okay, but yeah, I feel like that since Ronald Volkman and Mitchell Moses have paired up for the first of time, I feel like there's not much that you can really criticize from this from this halves pairing, since they were trying to do the best, and I feel like as his halves pairing, I thought they were a little bit much more better compared to Jonah Pezzett. And look, um, like there's not much that you can really say. Um, yeah, but yeah. Moving on, we're up to 38-10. See, Letty Tuli Fai Armani scores a try there to make it 38 points to 10. Jaden Campbell converts the try there to make it 40 points to 10. Um, and then Joshua Carr makes a line break there, but then Josh Papali there unfortunately knocks on the ball to be able to get a nice consolation try. And then Jaden Campbell, sorry, no, and then Josh Papali, he threw the intercept there when Jaden Campbell did actually intercept the ball. And then he ran down the field there to make it 44 points to 10. And yeah, that pretty much summed up our whole entire performance there. But then, as I thought it was going to be over, and I was hoping to God that we will not concede 50 points against the Titans, and also for the first ever time at Combank Stadium in our history since it has been opened in 2019. It happened. Philip Sami scored 50 points to 10. And then Jaden Campbell converts it to make it 52 points to 10. And that was it. That was, yeah. I got no words to say, but it was one of the most cringiest matches that I've ever watched from this Premier League team in a very long time. And as I said, I feel like the injuries there, and I have seen some injury concerns there from Dylan Walker in the first half. And look, Josh Carr, I feel like that he's lost his speed there, and he's still carrying that little niggle there from the West Tigers from last week, and there are still some signs there that he's not really fully 100% there. So I'm hoping that he can be fully fit there. He can be fully fit there um, against the Bulldogs next week, and I'm hoping that Dylan Walker can be the same as well. But man, oh man, once again, the injury crisis hurts us once again, and our roster depth is just getting worse and worse and worse. And we need to start asking some questions there from Mark O'Neill himself if he doesn't make the signing from Jane Sewer or to get any other fitter speedster for our backline defense and also for our attack as well. So, what's your full thoughts on this, Sean? And if you were Jason Rolls right now, just not having too much to really do with the current roster that we have at the moment, how would you fix our current state of the club at the moment?
Well, I don't think it's like a huge issue. Like we played alright against Tigers, and we have won. We did beat the Dragons, which hasn't proved to be much so far, and then we also won another
Yeah.
game. The only big losses was against Storm round one and Panthers. Panthers only lost of one game. Storm round one's always going to be hard to beat in Melbourne. So I don't think we're in much of a crisis. I think it's more just injuries. They're not much of an excuse, but at the same time, they have let us off. But I do agree with you. I think Jason Miles really, really needs to land Jaden Sewer, because he will be a big signing for us. We do definitely need some bigger blokes onto the team who are a bit younger and are still in their full form. So
Well, as I said before, people I've been telling people that we missed out on Payne Haas, but unfortunately, I think we have to come to the point where our forward pack is not that great to really attract big stars like Payne Haas or many other marquee players that we need at the moment to end that 40-year drought. And yeah, I think as we are in a rebuilding process, I feel like that we need to just face the fact that this rebuilding process is just going to take time, and I feel like that we can't sack anyone at the moment because it's such a poor time. But man, and man, I feel like that we're going back to this 2016 horror show where we were fighting with this 2016 salary cap issue, and then our whole entire roster um, was just in complete horror, and we had to just fight for some points, which we're lucky enough to avoid the wooden spoon in a year. But I do feel like that this team also reminds me of, I think it was South Sydney last year when they were suffocating big injuries to their stars like Cameron Murray. I think Latrell Mitchell was out. I think it was Alex Johnson as well, and many other players that would have had kept him off from that bottom four spot, and maybe potentially, if those superstars weren't injured for South Sydney from last season, then I reckon that they would have played finals footy in 2025. Or I think, but I could be wrong. I think it was in 2025 or 2024 that they had that injury crisis there. So yeah, that's how I see this team at the moment. But just uh, but just 5 to 10 times worse with how Mark Neal is just not making any actions at the moment, but just depending and waiting to land that sign there for Jane Stewart. And when he does, we definitely need to find that ideal backline player when we missed out on players like Herbie Farnworth in the past, Jermaine Sarko, um, and possibly maybe even Ruben Garrick and maybe Tommy Talau. Like those are the type of players that we need at the moment to step up. But Brian Kelly, I'm sorry to say this, but Brian Kelly, I'm going to say this right now, but I think that Brian Kelly is now confirmed as a Morgan Harper 2.0. And I know that people hate to hear the fact of that, but it's the truth. And history has repeated itself. And like Brian Kelly has played 10 times worse as what Warner Blake has played for us in the centres back in 2022 when we made it to the grand final. Like, yeah, I feel like that we haven't even like replaced Zach Lomax yet as well. And like as I said, like our rebuilding roster at the moment is not attracting enough players, as we do have the best facility in the NRL, the best stadium in the NRL, and we are one of the most richest clubs in Australian sport industry at the moment, and yet we can't attract players because of our
Same.
current roster and with the process on what this club is going through. Even though it is the right direction to build a great foundation and to copy off from what Penrith and the Bulldogs are doing at the moment, and especially the West Tigers and now the Gold Coast Titans are now in that rebuilding process, but still managed to put 52 points to us. Like the fact that they are in a rebuilding process and that they had and then they had a rookie coach that has beaten us by 52 points. Like where do we go from here, Sean? Like where do we go from here? Because I'm lost from her words, and it feels like that every single season. Like when we have a great roster that we do see, but then there are some concerns about, is Jack DeBellin really going to show up to that signing? Is Brian Kelly, is he going to be a flop or not? Like,
Why did we sign Jack
I
Devon?
I don't,
Why did we sign him?
yeah,
He's come off an injury. He's always been shit for Dragons. Like he was never going to be good for us at any point.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's not only that, but I, like the thing is, I, ge- I am very happy that we are signing like pathway players and that we are signing like young players, especially from last year when we did first appointed Jason Rose as head coach, like Kit Kat, aka Kitinio Katoga, Isaiah Iongi, getting players like Jordan Samrani, Josh Josh Papali. We have signed good market players like Dylan Walker Jack Williams. Who else was there? I mean, Taylor Da Silva, if you can count that. But yeah, like still like we need more signings like players like Dylan Walker and Jack Williams. But like we can't just always depend on mid-season signings where other teams will be on to them like straight away. Like even the struggling Dragons and many other teams who are struggling at the moment will be just on them because like does our CEO Mark O'Neill really wants to end the Premiership drought that other Premier fans have been waiting for more than 40 years, especially my dad, who has had enough when we lost the grand final in 2022. And he has said, look, mate, if I'm going to be honest, I think at this point, I'm just going to support the Melbourne Storm because I just had enough. So yeah, like if you were CEO right now, Sean, what would you do right now, and like what's next, and what's the positives that us fans really need to look forward to go up against the Canterbury Bankster Bulldogs next week, and what are the improvements that you think that we need to like fix on? Because
Well,
I am just lost for words and I don't know where to go from here. And I do apologize, people, if I am rambling on quite a bit, but I just need to but I just need to get it out of our chests. And like, I just feel sorry for all of the fans who just have who just have been suffocating for so long. And as a fan like me, I'm trying my best to not swear over here, but I am just too passionate just to not ignore the big concerns. And I just feel like that other Paramount podcasts out there are just not answering the questions and just not ripping into this club like good enough as what I'm trying to do at the moment. But I'll go to you, Sean. So sorry for rambling on, but I'll let you reply now. So yeah, go ahead.
yeah, well, obviously Bulldogs have just beaten Penrith. They're going to be up and about. They're going to be wanting to fire right off kick-off, and that's where we struggle. Like, as soon as there's pressure put on us straight away, that's where we struggle the most. So we're really, really going to have to dig deep in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. Only concede one try, if that, because you saw what happened against Panthers. Bulldogs were putting pressure on them the whole time. They weren't letting them put any field percentage onto the Penrith at all. Penrith were been stuck in their half for the first 10, 15 minutes. And that's where Parramatta will lose the game against Bulldogs this week. So if I'm the CEO or the manager or anything, I'd address the main issue at the moment, which is our defense and is the pressure. I'd address that, and then I'd pass the message on to Jason Riles and then the defensive coach and everything, so then we can work on those areas instead of just letting it go and saying it's a one-time thing. It's clearly not a one-time thing once it's happened every game so far.
Yeah, yeah. I and also another thing to really to point out from what I've heard from the audio is that they kept playing this audio saying defense, defense. Like what the hell was that? Okay, like why is the club now still consistently making fake parachant audio crowd effects, and now they're bringing this new defense audio effect crowd. Like what? Like that just really tells you the current state about this club at the moment. Like 40 years without a premiership, been stripped off from the Auckland Nines premiership in 2016, and here we are in an injury crisis, and now Moses is now getting up to his age where he's going to retire, and some people are now questioning him. Is he the right captain to really move forward? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I still think Moses got more in him. I think he's struggling. It's his first year without Dylan Brown. He's been with Brown for many years now. I think everyone's been a bit harsh on him, myself, because it takes time to get used to new halves, and even then, he still hasn't had the same
Yeah,
half. Jonah Pezzic's just got injured. He hasn't had much time with Ronald Volkman, if not any. So it's just going to be hard on him until he finds a way to work with Jonah Pezzett. Because, for example, Jonah Pezzett is a lot like Mitchell Moses in terms he always wants the ball. And that's not what you want with both your halves. Like, you want the both to want the ball, but not. You need someone who's more of a setting up, kicking, and then you want someone else who's more of a run the ball player. Moses has got both, which is good,
100%.
which we like. But Jonah Pezzett, he panics with the ball. From what I see, he panics with the ball, kicks too
Yeah,
early, doesn't have a look at
yeah,
the full picture, doesn't have a good look at his surroundings. For example, Joe
yeah.
Ashbakali, he doesn't look, he just passes the ball and hoping for the best. How many times that bloke I've seen him throw the ball to the ground or throw the ball over the sideline since he's been playing for us? It's a big issue.
Yeah, look, and like we also need to question like, is Josh probably the right player to go forward, pairing up with Lorenzo Talentiner at six? Like that's also another thing to also question. Like, is this plan really going to work out when Moses, like when he does retire, and like the way that we're going at the moment? I'm going to say this, and I know that it breaks my heart as a as a passionate Parramatta fan to say this, but unfortunately, I don't think Mitchell Moses is going to win a premiership before he retires. And I know that sounds very heartbreaking, but unfortunately, the truth hurts. And as a long-time Parramatta fan, I've seen it all, and I've been through the pain and like from what I've seen today, like I seen like worse moments, especially in 2013 and in 2012, when we just gave off Nathan Hindmarsh that absolutely embarrassing loss against the Dragons when he kicked that field goal at ANZ Stadium, and I actually went to the game, to his last ever game before he retired, and he gave out that funny speech, and yeah, but like I don't know what we're. Yeah, I mean, like I feel like that we need to work on winning more per session, and like the way that we play in the first half, as I said it, reviewing the first half, our attack was just like slow motion, and half of the players with the attitude were just drunk and were just ill disciplined as well, and there was just no communication, and the inexperience just also showed it there as well, and you can't really blame it on the second grade players because they are being given a opportunity to really just learn from what first grade is like. And due to the injuries, I feel like the pressure was really getting to the players as well. And I feel like that their mindset and like everything with our surroundings was just all over the place. And I feel like that we were also a little bit overwhelmed as well. But like to come up with a attitude for a must-win game uh like a week out against Bulldogs, like still in my opinion, like you can't have that. But anyways, enough rambling about. We're gonna go into the players ratings here, and and I'm gonna say, in my opinion, look, I know that you have been talking a little bit crap about Josh, but I do believe that Josh is trying his best out, and I feel like that kicking decision was pretty good. I will say that Ronald Volkman was possibly one of our better players. Sam Tuvati was up there as well. Jack Williams, I thought that was his most worst of a game. I know that the stats show that he's made 48 tackles, but there was a moment in the second half where he got tackled by a Ghost and he knocked on the ball. And I was telling myself, man, like I haven't seen Jack Williams like this bad. Like I think since I think round three last year against the West Tigers, where he had every single opportunity to score a try and then he knocked on the ball. Like that's something similar on what he has done today. So yeah, but defensively he was pretty good. Josh Okar, I thought he was trying his best despite carrying out that little niggle injury. So he's up there. But yeah, um, man, my 3-1. It's a little bit mixed here. Um, man of the match. Hmm. Um, look, I'll probably say just judge it by stats over here. We look at the stats over here. We have bloody. I mean, Josh probably also made one line break assist, three tackle breaks. He didn't make that many running meters. Also, I'm not sure where Sean is. I think his laptop just died, or he maybe got caught in or something. I'm not too sure. I think he will be back. So just give him a sec. But yeah. Josh, yeah, he didn't play that bad. He had a couple of good options there and some good ideas that some of them didn't work out, and that one bomb kick there was offside. But I thought that man, I thought that Ronald Volkman was possibly our best ever player on the field, in my opinion. And I know there's like other players like Josh Akar who was trying to do their best, and I thought he saved a couple of tries there, and he did try his best there to stop Jane Campbell there from scoring that long range try there. But yeah, look, I thought that Volkman, as I said before, ran the ball more there, and he played his role much more better compared to Jonah Pezzett. And to put in that beautiful crossfield kick there for Josh Okar was absolutely just brilliant. And I thought that he took him off some pressure off from the shoulders there from Moses. So do you still put Volkman as a 5'8", or do you then bring in Lorenzo Talenta to maybe just somehow spark a miracle to then get a massive win and a massive statement against the Bulldogs to then get back to winning ways and to also win against our rivalries who also gave Penrith the first ever loss? Like, do you do that? Because like at the moment, like this whole 5'8" debate thing is just all over the place, and I just don't know like who is the right one. Like we know that Lorenzo Talenta, he can be good in attack, but also defensively, like he still has some spots there to really work on, and he hasn't really, yeah, like yeah, defensively, um, how many tackles did Vog made? He made like 18 tackles, so he made more than what Moses did. Although he missed four, I will say his kicking meters weren't that bad. He made about like two bomb kicks there, um, and he made about like one error. So look, I thought that Volkman just wasn't bad, but best forward on the field, I thought that uh, I thought that Sam Tuivasa and I think Junior Bolo was trying their best as well. But yeah, it's a massive blow for our forward pack there to have Sam Tuivasa out. I don't know for how long since I haven't watched the press conference from Jason Rolls and also Kelma Tuolungi. I thought he also tried his best as well, but defensively, I think he made a couple of I think he I didn't make any penalties. Oh, he made like one penalty there, so I'll say that Kelma Tulangi and both Sam Tuvati are possibly both even for our best forwards there who have played against the Titans. Riley Smith, um, he didn't play that many minutes as you can see, but I thought his defense there was all right. Talent da Silva was just very overwhelming since the forward pack was just not that well organized, and there's not much that really that talent da Silva can really do just to stop the momentum that the Titans were coming forward with players like Cooper By and just other players coming forward as well. And yeah, nothing really much to really say about the full pack there since we once again suffer more injuries. Most importantly to our forward, which yeah, as I said, I am just hoping that Mark Neal can just land this big move there for Jane Sewer. And yeah, Will Pensini, even though he scored a try and he made like a couple of good running meters there, and look, I will say he made a couple of good offloads there, and he did made a couple of good tackle breaks there, but still, like in my opinion, man, I feel like he didn't stick to the plan, and he was just trying to do his own thing, and his individual's error just cost us a couple of our momentum to really just sorry no a couple of his errors just cost us a couple of opportunities to really get that momentum to really just bring it back around. And yeah, I just feel like that he wasn't really sticking to the plan. I feel like he cost us a couple points as well. And also Brian Kelly. Once again, okay, sure, he made a couple of good running meters there, but again, he cost us the game as well. He is absolutely clueless. He can't even get back to the line in time, and I feel like that Brian Kelly is just absolutely just careless, and he is just possibly one of the worst ever has-beens to have in your team right now in the NRL as the game is getting much more faster as it is right now also. So yeah, I'm not sure where Sean is. I'm possibly going to text him right now. I'll leave you with the rest. And the laptop died. Sorry. Ooh. Oh, I have to get off at 4:25 to 4:30. Ooh, crap. So Sean, he had to get off there because unfortunately he has something on at 4:20. Sorry, at 4:30 or something. So yeah. By the time we are recording this, it is 4:58, and his laptop did die. So unfortunately, you have to now listen to me. So I do apologize if I haven't let Sean really give out his full thoughts or just really rate any plays there. So yeah, once again, people, my 3-1, I'm gonna give 3 points there to Ronald Volkman. I'll give 2 points there I'll give it to Sam Tuivasa and 1 point there to Kemba Tulangi. Even though they are both out, I still feel like that these two players in a full pack gave much more of a good attitude compared to others. I was going to put Josh in there, but yeah, there were a couple of errors where I did agree with Sean there, and yeah, but yeah, Josh does come very close to being that 3-1 there, but I'll give Ronald Volkman my man of the match. Some people may argue maybe Josh probably, but yeah, it's a close one. But it's pretty hard to really just rate the best play there since half of our team is just basically New South Wales Cup team, and yeah, I think today, having our team just half of New South Wales Cup players, I think the result just shown that like like with our team just having so many second grade players there, I feel like um, that our defense just wasn't up for it, and yeah. But anyways, people, I think I'm rambling on too much, and I think you get the message now. From my absolute frustration from both me and from the co-host himself there, Sean Glennoning there, and that is all from this round six. Yeah, from this round six, absolute diabolical performance there against the Goggles Titans there, and yeah, I feel like that I've said enough, and yeah. But if you guys have enjoyed this long, rambling, ranting, and passionate review, and if you do agree with me to change things around throughout this passionate and rich history club that is now in an absolute injury crisis, and possibly now might not have a great chance to really get into finals, which I don't think we will. But yeah, we got a massive game against the Bulldogs next week in round seven, and I do believe that we do go away against the Seagulls in round eight. Yeah, and boy oh boy, if you're having losses like this against the Titans, and yet you got games like the Bulldogs, the Seagulls, the Wars, and the Cowboys away, and then we got the Storm. Man, and man, we really, man, like it, if if the boys are gonna just keep on performing like this, then I will just skip all of these. I will, I will just skip all of these matches and then just go to the bye, because there's just no point. Just to really just get Moses to really communicate with his team. Just to have a proper organized ruck speed, line speed, defensive structure, and also just getting the attack flow correctly, and getting all of the players to push up at the same time when both Moses and his half partner are just trying to at least get the color pass there, and to get out to your backline players there like Joshua Carr. But man, oh man, Will Pensini and Brian Kelly, they both need to be dropped. And yeah, I feel absolutely just bad for Araz Nava, for him debuting, for him debuting to this absolute garbage. So yeah, I feel bad for his family as well, and yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna end it here, people. Yeah. If you guys have enjoyed this review of the Eels and Titans match for round six at Combank Stadium, please make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also share it as well. And also make sure to follow us on all social platforms there, on Instagram, and also on TikTok as well. And yeah, make sure to give us a listen on Spotify, and also on Apple Podcasts itself. And I will see you guys for the preview. Hopefully Sean will be available, but hopefully next time I will be trying to be less rambling on, but I had to be as passionate as possible, people, this is because this is the message that the club needs to be heard right now, if we are able to turn things around against the Bulldogs. But I will speak more about that during the preview. But as of always, para proud, and as I always say by the end of these podcasts, go Para.